one meeting day.
Live on Zoom,
Okay.
sir. We are live on Zoom.
Yes, so we are live on Zoom, and good afternoon, all the teachers. I think they are joining us, ma'am.
Yes,
So we'll be
yes.
we'll start in 3 minutes sharp.
Okay.
It's 3:27, and Kamal, if you can put us live on YouTube also, so that we can start in 2 to 3 minutes.
Okay.
So you're based in Pathankot, ma'am? You're in
Yes,
Pathankot right now?
we are right now in Pathankot. Our
So
school
Pathankot
is
में तो
up
काफी
there.
गर्मी होगी this time.
No, it's okay. The climate is quite pleasant.
Chalo, that's nice.
During the day, it is little warm, but in the night, it is always pleasant.
Fantastic. There are like around
Yeah.
58 of your teachers who are already there. So teachers, good afternoon.
I hope
We'll
it
start
will
in
go,
another, it'll go very well, ma'am. I'm sure it'll go very well. And we'll start in 2 minutes sharp. At 3:30 sharp, we'll start.
To give you little briefing, ours is a CBSE school up to 12th
Right.
grade. We have two campuses. One is at Pathankot, one is at Himachal. That is in
Okay.
district Canada. That is very nearer to Pathankot. Indora is a place.
Yes.
There we have our another school. Ours is a boarding school.
Wonderful.
We have day boarders as well as boarders. And Indora is a purely day school.
So I used to live in Palampur earlier. My father was the Vice Chancellor of HP Agriculture University.
Okay.
So I've lived in Palampur and spent time in Kangra. So beautiful, very beautiful valley.
Yeah.
Pathankot, of course. That's right, ma'am. So Kamal, if you can tell us when you're live on YouTube so that we can start. It's not just 1 minute left to start. Okay.
It looks like there's an issue with YouTube. So I'll keep on trying. So
Okay. ठीक है. No worries. So another 30 seconds. Subra ma'am, Vivek sir, could we start?
Yes,
So the format will be
Yeah.
that we will request ma'am you to join us as a panelist after the talk by Vivek and me.
Yeah.
So we'll appreciate that. So I think it's time to start. If you allow me, Vivek and ma'am, can we start?
Yes.
Lovely. So good afternoon, teachers. Good afternoon, Shubhra ma'am. Good afternoon, Vivek. Welcome to Ideas That Matter, a series of webinars by Shulini University, Kasoli Hills, Himachal Pradesh. It's an honor and delight to welcome all of you on this beautiful day, a beautiful webinar with a very charming and inspirational Vivek Atray. Ideas That Matter was a small initiative that Vivek and I started around 10 weeks back. We said we should speak to teachers, we should discuss and create a platform for sharing ideas, and Ideas That Matter happened. As anything that starts small, Ideas That Matter has actually reached quite a bit of scale. This is our 55th webinar. We have touched around 100 institutions across the country, and we have spoken to around 100,000 teachers across the country, and we've reached as far and wide as Calcutta. We've had great viewership, and I hope all of you sitting on this webinar today will be as excited as we are delivering the webinar. I'll quickly introduce Vivek to you. Vivek Atray, ex-IAS, TEDx speaker, motivational speaker, author of 3 books, but more importantly, as I always say, a very dear friend and visiting professor at Shulini University. Also, Vivek has been the so-called, I would say, architect or founder of the IT Park of Chandigarh. And who doesn't know the IT Park of Chandigarh? That's where most of the business happens in Chandigarh nowadays. Thanks to you, Vivek, when you were the director IT for the territory, union territory there. Vivek now speaks and tries to motivate teachers and students. And we're so glad and delighted that you're here today, Vivek. Quick introduction to me. My name is Atul Khosla. I'm the founder and pro-vice chancellor of Shulini University. I'm a BTech from IIT Kanpur and an MBA from Jawaharlal Bajaj, Mumbai. I've got around 20 odd years of experience in the corporate sector. I've been the CEO of several companies before the teaching bug hit me, and I love to teach now. I'm a very proud teacher, and that's how I introduce myself. I know all of you are also very proud teachers. Am I right, Shubhra ma'am? And 7 years back, I decided to be full-time into teaching. And it's my delight to be here today, sharing the platform with Vivek, Shubhra ma'am, and all of you. With that, I will request Shubhra ma'am to probably introduce her school. If you can take a minute or so, Shubhra ma'am, and we can then get into the
Yes.
dialogue with Vivek. Over to you, Shubhra ma'am.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. A warm afternoon to all of you. My members of staff, they are quite experienced, and I hope they will get more positive things from your lecture, what you will deliver. I know sir is going to highlight on the topic which has at a glance filled me, and the topic today what sir is going to tell is a book, perhaps I think sir is writing himself, which is going to be published. Am I right, sir?
It has been published now,
Vivek
ma'am.
sir is
I have that book
okay.
now.
It has been published. Very nice. Thank you so much. And the topic itself, finding success within. If we talk about success, we all know that success has different concept, different perception. It's a different definition and varies from one person to another. But with the rich experience of Vivek sir and Khosla sir, I think all my teachers will be enlightened and they will definitely learn more things from your vivid experience, sir. And regarding my school, if I speak, it's a school upcoming, growing every day, moving a step ahead. We have started very recently in the year 2006, and around 5 batches of class 12 have already passed out. This is the 6th batch of the school. Results are excellent, very good. We have got the National Merit Certificate holders in our school from academic front. Along with that, we emphasize more on holistic approach. Children have been given an exposure of games, sports, cultural activities, music, dance. So it's a kind of all-round mixture, and we believe our children should be the successful citizens of a nation, and wherever they go, they should be ready to face the challenges of life. And during this trying time, we are finding that our children are still able to cope up with the situation easily. That is what is the teaching of our teachers. Ours is a 12th grade school affiliated to CBSE. Thank you very much for giving me this opportunity, and we are eager to learn from you because you have a very vast experience of different fields. And when I have heard of the topic and I read that sir has written that book, it has appealed me the most. So I have decided why not to speak on this topic, which will be more interesting for all of us. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, Shubhra ma'am. I think what a beautiful introduction. We are highly obliged to be here. And you're putting a lot of pressure on us with your such a lovely talk. I hope Vivek and I live up to the expectations. I won't take more time, and I'm going to hand it over to Vivek. The format is going to be for all the attendees. Vivek and I will take around 30 minutes of talk. I will request all of you to keep posting on chat or Q&A. Any questions you have, we'll pick up every question, I promise. And I think as Vivek speaks, I'll request Shubhra ma'am to please mute yourself so we can get into the discussion. Vivek, over to you.
Thank you very much, Atul, and thank you, Shubhra ma'am, for that introduction and welcome. It's a lovely pleasure to be here. I see 115 participants already, so very good numbers. The teachers from both the schools are no doubt there. And on Zoom, we have such large numbers rarely. It's very good. And Atul Khosla, he and I have been speaking at these webinars for the last 2 months, and we have crossed about 54, 55 webinars. We are also now, in fact, Atul has crossed 100 webinars in all, I read recently, and it's a fantastic achievement. I am also about there, I guess, close to that. So it's fantastic to be speaking to schools and teachers all over India, all over North India, as well as other parts of India we have touched as far as Calcutta. And Shulini University is a lovely university where I am also visiting professor after my voluntary retirement from IAS. I do a few things like motivational speaking and advisory roles. and Shulini University is very close to my heart. I am very happy to be associated, and these webinars are actually very successful in taking the message of positivity and cheerfulness and creativity and innovation and balance, all these good things to various teachers and schools. So let's talk about the topic. It is finding success within. First, the question comes, what is success? Success, in my view, is that which gives you happiness. If success doesn't give happiness, there's no point in being successful and not happy. If somebody is living in Algeria and he belongs to Pathankot, then in Algeria he will be alone. His family is in Pathankot. He is sending back money every month, but he's not there to enjoy the company of his family. So the question arises whether such a person is successful or is he only earning money. It is, of course, important to look after the family, important to go abroad and do whatever you can, go to other cities and be successful in your work, in your career. It is important to rise as high as you can in your work and career. But it is more important to lead a life where we find those moments of joy and happiness. And those are the moments which matter. And those are the moments where family can actually come into play. So I'll give you an example. I'm in Chandigarh, Panchkula actually, but I often quote the Chandigarh dilemma. What is the Chandigarh dilemma? The Chandigarh dilemma is, do you leave Chandigarh for your career prospects and go to Bombay, Delhi, Bangalore, USA, Europe, wherever? Or do you leave those career prospects for the quality of life and company of your loved ones in Chandigarh? There are many people, let me tell you, who have opted for Chandigarh over career. And they have stayed here despite the fact that they could have got a promotion and gone to Chennai or gone to wherever. They have spent more quality time in the city beautiful here and not taken on that choice of rising high in their office or career and staying on with their family. Of course, there are equally a number of people who have gone out and gone abroad and gone to other cities and not stayed back. And those parents, who their parents are living alone, old now and in big houses at times. So there is a dilemma. Do you leave the city that you love, the village that you love, the town that you love for greener pastures, as they say, more prospects, or do you stay there? And what is success is linked to this question. Success, if it comes with happiness, is true success. If it comes with only material wealth and lots of money, but no one to enjoy it with, or no happiness, then it doesn't work. So let me give you another example to start with. Anil Ambani. Anil Ambani, the younger brother of the Ambanis, he was at one time very much overweight, much like his older brother. And he was at a New York shareholders meeting of the Reliance Industries at that time. And the shareholders were very happy with the company. But one person got up and said, Anil, we are happy with the company, but we are not happy with your health. Because at a young age, you look very much overweight. And we are worried that if something happens to you, then what will happen to the company? Anyway, time has changed and he has now become a very fit person. So he took it upon himself to start running. He runs marathons, he goes and does various things. Nowadays, of course, he is in dire straits financially, but that is what life is about. So one has to see whether health is important, peace of mind is important, whether company is important, or only the bigger car, more money, more achievement, more promotions, more success in material terms. If you're coming in the newspaper, it is a happy thing, but the newspaper lasts for only one day. Tomorrow, people don't remember yesterday's newspaper. So it is okay to be famous also, to be well known. But all these things, achievements, fame, money, power, success in the material term, they actually lead to nothing if you are not successful in being happy and making others happy. So these two stories I've told you just to share with you that actually success means that you have peace of mind. Whatever you do, you are creative, you are energetic, you are enthusiastic. आपके अंदर जोश है, आपके अंदर ऐसी चीज है कि कुछ ऐसा करना है नया जो कभी नहीं किया. और अगर हम रूटीन की लाइफ जीते हैं जो कि 30 years, 40 years, then we realize that these 30, 40 years were happy, but maybe we could have done something new and creative and something which would have given us more happiness. It is okay to go to school or college or office on time, come back on time, have your lunch, have a nap, go for a walk, watch TV, and then in the evening have a chat and then go to sleep. But if you also play musical instruments, or you are an artist or painter, or you are a writer of poetry or stories, or you are a sports person, or you are a thinker, astronomer, you are an astrologer, whatever creative habit you have, it will give you more joy. So, two things I've told you till now in this session. The first thing is that inner peace and happiness from within actually matters more than all the riches and material wealth. Secondly, creativity and newness and freshness and change also matters. So can you be creative and happy even with lesser money? Or do you need more money but no creativity and no joys from within? This is the dilemma of life. So I'm going to take a pause here and invite Atul Khosla to share his views on success, and he's also going to show us an inspiring video. Over to you, Atul.
Thank you, Vivek. I think extremely inspiring thoughts. As I've always mentioned, Vivek, the most successful thing for a teacher, for all of us, is to see our students successful. And as you were narrating different stories, I started thinking about my own grandfather, my Nanaji, who came from a very illustrious family. His father was, in those days, they sort of owned a bunch of villages near Ambala, Shahbad, actually, that's where he comes from. And he was sent to St. Stephen's College to study, like in those days they would, and then sent over to the United Kingdom, to London, to do a barrister degree in law. So my Nana actually didn't like law. He ran away and he ended up joining a small school in a district called Mandi in Himachal, where he then became the headmaster. He had a very tough life. My Nani would always complain. She would say that मेरी शादी तो वकील से हो रही थी और master के गले में कैसे पड़ गई. Of course, they have very tough times, jokes apart. But I have seen the education minister of Himachal come and meet my Nana and touch his feet. And I think that joy, that happiness is priceless. He could have become a lawyer and he could have, gained lots and lots of money, I would say, but there's no way he would have got that joy. The deputy speaker of Himachal, who also happened to be a fellow person from Nahan, where he was from, was very, very close to him because they were great friends and he would respect him. And this guy would come to our home, I remember, not because this guy was the headmaster, which was my Nana, but because they were friends and they would fight with each other. And I think that's the type of respect we have as teachers within society. So the reason I mention this is because inspiring our students to do extraordinary things is what, and that's the pledge that we've taken, Vivek, as teachers. You're a teacher now, you've left the IS to be a motivational speaker, which is nothing but a teacher. And teachers have to do extraordinary things. As a university, as a school, I think apart from the fact that we should have exceptional faculty and exceptional teachers, we should also have inspiring spaces. We should have places where people feel that they are free. Students feel that they can talk to each other, they can engage with each other, and we have the culture of happiness and the culture of fearlessness, which means they can do whatever they want to do, of course, within boundaries. So, at this juncture, I wanted to tease all of you with the Shulini campus where I'm sitting. You all are somewhere in 38 to 40 degrees. I am sitting at 21 degrees in the middle of a pine forest with a stream flowing below my windows. I want to show this and tease all of you. And then I'll sort of connect the dots and tell you why I showed this video. But if you allow me, Vivek, I'm going to show this video on Shulini.
Sure.
that's our passion, Vivek, creating inspiration. And we believe that the day students have inspiration and passion, magic happens. इतनी शिद्दत से तुम्हें पाने की कोशिश की है कि हर जर्रे ने हमें मिलाने की साजिश की है. And I think when students have that fire in the belly, then magic happens. And that's the passion we have at Shulini. We started very small, Vivek. My father started Shulini with 20 lakhs in his pocket. We had no support. But I'm so proud to say today that after 10 years, and that's not a very long time, we are Himachal's #1 university by far. Our rankings are better than HP University in Government of India NRF rankings. And within all of North India, we're #7. And that's an amazing feat. And I think that's what inspiration and magic does. Creativity, thinking outside the box, fearlessness, all of this added together can make ordinary people do extraordinary things. Vivek, over to you.
Thanks a lot, Atul. Very inspiring as usual. And the campus is absolutely beautiful. I've been there so many times and love it. Waiting to go back again there. And in fact, the points that Atul shared are very, very important. All of us realize, and I saw Mr. Kamal, another Mr. Kamal, writing that success is a journey, not a destination. He's so right. It's a good quote. And I absolutely feel that we have to enjoy the moment. So one of the factors for success is that we have to basically live in the present moment. All of us are living in the past or the future. Human beings, their minds keep wandering. And life is about the battle of the mind. If you win the battle of the mind, then you realize that you have been calm, happy, and collected. If you are restless and irritated about things, then that means that you are not able to control your mind. Our minds are our greatest friends and minds are our greatest enemies. And Paramahansa Yogananda, the author of the autobiography of a yogi, he said, carry a portable paradise within you wherever you go. This is the book which I follow and Atul also follows, and we have the Yogananda library in the Shulini University. It's a world famous book, and he's a world famous guru of early 20th century. Autobiography of a yogi has changed many lives. If you haven't read it, please read it. It's not a religious book, it's a spiritual book. He says, carry a portable paradise within you, wherever you go. Life is giving us problems. Sometimes happy moments, sometimes problems. Ups and downs of life will continue throughout our lives. But if we have the inner calmness, we don't get ruffled and affected. That is the sign of true success. You may be a small shopkeeper or a big businessman. You may be a police constable or the DGP. Happiness depends on how your inside is, how your inner being is, how your mind is. It doesn't depend on the outer things. Ultimately, the outer things will only give you happiness if you are determined to be happy. So what happens? We have to control and watch our mind. Our mind runs away here to there. It doesn't stay in the present moment. Secondly, our mind does another thing. It worries about things which need not be worried about, which are not that important. We keep fretting over things that ये ना हो जाए, वो ना हो जाए, ऐसे ना हो जाए, वैसे ना हो जाए. वो होता नहीं है. लेकिन हम लोग चिंतित रहते हैं, बहुत मुश्किल में टाइम निकालते हैं. अभी पैंडेमिक चल रहा है, लॉकडाउन is unlocking, but most of us are a little nervous and edgy because of too much information, too much news, too much WhatsApp, too much Facebook. We know everything. पहले जमाने में लोगों को पता कम होता था, इसलिए वो खुश रहते थे. Ignorance is bliss. In Himachal, I had seen people sitting for 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours. Even in Haryana, Punjab, in winters, they would be sitting in the sun. In Himachal, maybe not so much in the winters when the weather is bad. But whenever it's a sunny day, you'll find people sitting. And they will not be that restless. Villagers are not as restless as urban people. You understand that a city goer, he becomes suddenly so busy. There's so much of a tizzy in his life, so much happening, that he gets so embroiled in all these things. So the mind has to be kept calm despite all the activities of life. That is the secret. And how do we do it? One way is to meditate. Meditation morning, evening, and afternoon also. No harm. 5 minutes, 10 minutes, whatever time. I meditate quite a bit, early morning or late morning also, and evening. And that helps me throughout the day. Even when I was in the IAS, I was posted here and there, and I had a very busy time meeting lots of people. Meditation kept me calm, kept me cool, and kept me active. So meditation, a calm mind also makes us more intelligent, more understanding, more creative. If your mind is cluttered, then that means you need to introspect and find out why it is cluttered. So at the end of the day, or on a Sunday, or whenever you have time, sit down and find out where is my mind all day long. Is it thinking about things which don't need to be thought about? How much do we think about what food we are going to eat, what clothes we're going to wear, what TV program we're going to watch? Need not think more than maybe food is a little more important, especially the person who has to prepare. But thinking about these things might not be more than 20 minutes throughout the day put together. What are we thinking about mostly? Mostly we are thinking about work, yes, but we are thinking about people. And we're thinking about what might happen, this might happen, that might happen. What if this goes wrong? What if that goes wrong? Worrying about our near and dear ones. Worrying about failure. What is failure? Failure is the opposite of success, yes. But failure is a stepping stone to success. And many entrepreneurs and successful people, they count their failures as it is like an experience certificate that you have got from life. When you fail in something, you're not likely to repeat the mistake that you made. If you keep repeating the mistake, you have to get out of it. There is an addiction of some kind. So we have to realize that this is a failure from which we can learn. Success comes to those who learn from failure. Success comes to those who enjoy their journey. Success comes to those who are calm from within. Let's take the case of Amitabh Bachchan. I'm very fond of his life and personality. Even now, he's so energetic and on the go. Amitabh Bachchan was rejected. ऑल इंडिया रेडियो ने भी रिजेक्ट किया कि आपकी आवाज ठीक नहीं, अमिताभ बच्चन. हिंदुस्तान लीवर ने रिजेक्ट किया कि आप इस लायक नहीं है जो भी जॉब था. फिल्मों में भी रिजेक्ट हुए कि ये मूवी नहीं, ये वो नहीं, ये नहीं, वो नहीं. कितनी सारी जगह रिजेक्ट होने के बाद कहीं ब्रेक मिला शायद साथ हिंदुस्तानी या किसी पिक्चर में, उसके बाद अपनी मूवीज में आते रहे साइडी बन के. आनंद जैसी मूवी में आए इतने जबरदस्त रोल में, फिर भी वो नंबर 2 हीरो थे राजेश खन्ना के बाद. उसके बाद जंजीर एक मूवी आई जिसमें एंग्री यंग मैन बन गए. सो हिज करियर टुक ऑफ. ही वाज रेजिलिएंट, he was sure of himself, he was not rattled by failure. If we are rattled by failure, then we cannot succeed. So we need to tell our students the same. You are teachers. Teachers need to be role models for their students, no doubt. Parents need to be role models for their children. And students and children will listen to you if you live what you say. That is, you walk the talk. That is, you are what you say. If you are something else and you say that children do this, do that, and you are not doing it yourself, then they won't really listen. And teachers have a great opportunity to be successful in life because they will churn out students who are bright, who are understanding, who are successful. And those are the factors which really count. So it is important for you to understand that by being good at your work, by enjoying your work, by being cheerful and happy, you will be able to be successful. It doesn't matter whether you became the Prime Minister or Chief Secretary or not. A successful teacher can be happier than a successful politician or a successful bureaucrat or a successful businessman. In fact, teaching is a great, great profession. Atul just said that he left a corporate career for teaching. I resigned from the IAS to become a motivational speaker, and that is like a teacher, absolutely. I have 25 lakh views now on YouTube. Suddenly they are galloping. And the YouTube statistics tell me that young people are learning. from watching me. So I find it a great way to reach out to people and inspire them. I find that this is what success is about. Making others role model. You become a role model for others. So I'm going to tell you one more story before I hand it to Atul. There is the story of being grateful for what you have. A successful person is not someone who is thankless. He's thankful to all those who helped him on the way. It is said that you be nice to people on the way up because you'll meet the same people on the way down. Life is about ups and downs. तो जब नीचे उतर रहे होंगे तब वही लोग मिलेंगे जिनको आप मिले थे ऊपर जाते, which means you have to be nice to them even when you're on top. The story is about thanklessness and how we should be thankful. एक सज्जन थे पेड्रो, मिस्टर पेड्रो. वो इंटरव्यू के लिए गए किसी बड़े शहर में और उनको गाड़ी पार्किंग की जगह नहीं मिल रही थी और पार्किंग की जगह नहीं मिली तो इंटरव्यू के लिए लेट हो जाएंगे और किसी फ्रेंड की गाड़ी लेके आए थे, गाड़ी इधर उधर खड़ी भी नहीं कर सकते. तो आखिरकार उन्होंने 20 मिनट जब लेट हो रहे थे और लगा कि अब गया इंटरव्यू, तो ऊपर की तरफ देख के भगवान को कहते हैं, भगवान मुझे पार्किंग ढूंढ दीजिए प्लीज, और मैं आज से ही सारी गलत आदतें छोड़ दूंगा. एकदम से पार्किंग मिल जाती है मिस्टर पेड्रो को. पार्किंग में गाड़ी लगाते हैं और इंटरव्यू की तरफ भागते हैं और बीच में याद आता है तो भगवान को बोलते हैं, भगवान मुझे पार्किंग मिल गई, आप रहने दीजिए. तो हम लोग भी कई बार ऐसे होते हैं, we are thankless at times. When God helps us, we forget that we prayed to Him. We have to thank Him again. Prayer के टाइम तो हमें बड़ा याद था, एग्जाम के टाइम, इंटरव्यू के टाइम. Once the thing is gone, we forget. So being grateful is also a sign of success. Humility is also a sign of success. If you are humble like Sachin Tendulkar, you can be successful and more successful. Otherwise, somewhere there's a cap. Because of your arrogance, there is a limit to being successful. But humble people can go beyond all limits. So I think these were the thoughts I wanted to share. I'll again show you the cover of my book. It's called Finding Success Within, which is the topic of today. 52 life skills for young people. And it is available on Amazon. You can order it if you like and read it and share it and review it. And I'll have a couple of closing remarks later. Over to you now, Atul.
Thank you, Vivek. And I think there's also a request, from Shubhangi ma'am to you, Vivek, so that you can talk a bit about your other books that you've written. I think you've written a few. So I think we'll get into that. I'd like to pick up on a thought that Hema ma'am is writing over here, saying, it's the context of success. You could be very successful in your professional career, but a failure in family life. So I'd like to bring in a research done by Harvard University, Vivek. So sometime back, they did research. In fact, they started looking at happiness and success around 100 years back. And they tracked 3 generations of people. One set of people who were super rich had come to study at Harvard, and another set of people who were on the streets of Boston. That's where Harvard is located. And over 4 generations, they try to understand who is successful, who is happy, and is there a correlation between health, happiness, and longevity of life and health. And the answers are very, very interesting and quite astounding, because what they found out was the happy people were successful. So they would ask every generation, every 2 years, to benchmark them on their happiness. So happy people were successful. Successful people need not be happy. But so if you're happy, your chances of success went up dramatically high. The second thing that they learned was quite amazing, was people who had support from the community, family, or from friends were significantly more likely to be happy than people who were loners. So people who were loners would die faster. They would die before the age of 70. People who were loners had less probability to succeed in the conventional sense of success, which is money and fame. And people who were loners would also lead unhappy lives. So my thought to all the teachers over here would be something very simple that we can do to be happy and successful is to go back to our roots, go back to our friends, go back to our family, go back to our parents, go back to the community, build these community bonds, And these can take us really, really far. I think sometimes we forget talking to our parents. I think we all do, Vivek, reaching out to them and saying love you to them, and even seeking help and sharing with them. And the parents are just amazing people, despite all the stupid things we might have done. I think they've got amazing resilience to listen and excuse us. So I would say, if you're stressed out, or even if you're very happy, just go and talk to your parents, talk to your family, talk to your friends. I think that's the last thought I'd like to lead. I'll also like to leave a small thought on creativity of a student of ours. Her name is Aman. Aman has done exceptionally well in research despite being a relatively average student. And she did it because she got some amazing inspiration from her guide, Dr. Saurabh Agnihotri. She's won the Young Water Fellowship. It's a United Nations fellowship, Vivek. 100,000 researchers apply for it. By the way, she comes from Punjab, very near Pathankot. Exceptional student, does exceptionally well. If you allow, I would love to show a small video over here on Aman and the work she's done, and we'll then close. Vivek, am I allowed?
Sure, sure.
So Vivek, there's the story of Aman, an ordinary student who got extraordinary. And to me, one part of success is about making people around you happy and successful. And I think if you can do that, one will be very happy, very successful. And that's the way I think about it. But the last thought really is that money and success within need not be separate. What I mean by that is we don't have to become saints and sadhus. In fact, our Swamiji also says that we have to live a normal life. We can be successful within and also have money with us. But money is not the only success. I think that's the last thought I'd like to give. Vivek, over to you for your last thoughts.
Thank you, Atul. Very inspiring indeed. And I am going to now share with you a formula which I do talk about at times. And why I share formulas is that they are remembered easily. Often we attend webinars or inspiring talks and they stay with us for a few days, few weeks. You'll remember somebody called Atul and Vivek, they came and spoke to us, but we don't really remember what happened. So this formula is 3I minus M. And those of you who are maths teachers, you know that 3I minus I is 2I, but this is something else. So 3I is the 3 I's that we have to add into our lives and increase if we have them already. The first I is inspiration. We talked about inspiration. Inspiration can come from anywhere. It should come to you throughout your life. It's not only in a young age that you need to be inspired. Even if you are 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, whatever, something has to bring you inspiration. It could be Captain Tom who raised millions of pounds in England. It could be the young girl who rode a cycle for hundreds of kilometers to take her father away to the hospital or home. These are the things which inspire. It could be Amitabh Bachchan or Sachin Tendulkar, could be Alia Bhatt or PV Sindhu, could be anybody. Somebody has to inspire. The second is innovation. Innovation means creativity, creative thinking, which leads to innovation. And anybody who's innovative is bound to be successful because he or she thinks differently, wants to do new things, makes things happen, and will always be cheerful also. Cheerfulness comes with a creative persona. The third I is integrity. And integrity is about the truth, about character. And character means that we do the right thing even when nobody is watching. Of course, we are human. We will slip at times. We will lose our temper. We lose our cool. We tell lies also. The younger we are, the more we do such things. As we grow older, we learn. We improve. So we can never be perfect. But if we adopt these three I's, we'll be better. And we keep on improving. We introspect. So 3I is inspiration, innovation, integrity. Minus I, what is the I which troubles us, which is a problem for us? That I is I-ness. That means ego. Ego. I. मैं ऐसा हूँ, मैं वो हूँ, ego. I am self-centered. That means I am living with my ego. And anyway, if you look at the spirituality of it, then it is the soul and the ego which are battling. It is the soul and the ego which have the battle. We are body, mind, and soul, but we don't really nurture the soul. Meditation and prayer and reading scriptures and spiritual books, especially meditation, will help us to nurture our soul. Minus I is ego. I know spellings of ego are ego, but I means I. And minus M for students, I say minus marks. Why minus marks? Because marks is not the only thing in life. Marks are not the only thing. They have to do well. They have to study hard and get good marks. But they also have to be all-rounders, creative. So minimize that focus on marks. Work hard, but learn other skills, other things also. And for grown-ups, it is money. Minus M means money consciousness should not be that much. Whatever money you have, whatever wealth you have, salary you have, home you have, let us be content. And whatever we are progressing, we are doing better in life, it's okay, it's good. But we cannot really run after money. So 3I minus M is a formula for success. And ultimately, as I said, success comes from within. Happiness comes from within. It comes from our attitude to life. So that is the lesson of the day. I'm very happy to have talked to the teachers, and over to you, Atul, for a closing and a Q&A. I think I see some lovely comments today, Atul.
Absolutely, I think just shows the quality of the school. So Shubhra ma'am, if you could also join us, we'll appreciate. I'll pick up a question by Vandana ma'am, I think, which is so relevant. She's saying we talk about success all the time, but what about failures? Should we not talk about failures that sometimes we face and learn from failures? Vivek, as we ask our teachers to post questions and more questions, could you pick up this particular comment and also this question? And I'll request Shubhra ma'am to also join us.
Yes, indeed, we should talk about failure, and I did talk about failure, as you must have heard. So failure is something which is the opposite of success. We have to learn from. We have the example of Thomas Alva Edison, who made light bulb and electricity. He was an inventor, great scientist. He failed hundreds of times before he got success. So many Nobel laureates and scientists, how difficult it must have been to reach that one experiment which gave them success, the correct formula. And somebody like an ant, this old story, which is trying to scale the wall, the ant keeps falling until it finally succeeds. So we keep on trying, and failure is something which should be taken as an experience learning factor in our lives.
We said that, Vivek. I mean, we've been hearing this, that you should see failure as, a stepping stone. Any tricks you have? I mean, I'm sure you've seen failure. I have, of course, and I'm sure all of us have. But any trick that you How do you overcome failure? I mean, any particular trick?
Yeah, so in my view, failure is all relative. So I've seen in my life and I've seen in others also. If we take failure so seriously that we are totally shattered, then we cannot get up the next morning. We have to take it with a pinch of salt. Everything is relative. There is a happy home, there's a family, there are friends, and we failed in an exam. We still have that family and those friends and that home. So it is all relative. It's a smaller thing compared to our plus points in life. So we have to see that all our negatives, all our failures put together also cannot take away the happiness that we enjoy with all the wealth of positivity that we have. We bank on that and we learn from failure. So get up the next morning feeling less bad about failure, and the next morning, even less bad, you get better.
Absolutely. Life is like a very long marathon, and I'll request all the teachers, of course, to do meditation, which is so important. I think it will overcome, failures. And I'd love you to talk about that, Vivek. And I can see that ma'am also does a lot of meditation. It shows in your eyes, ma'am. But also, learn to run for 20 kilometers. I'm not joking. Try to run for 20 kilometers. That's what that's a half marathon actually. 21 kilometers, 42 kilometers is a full marathon. But life is like a marathon. You'll be surprised, but in a marathon, the guys who run the fastest in the first 10 kilometers never win the race. It's the people who actually run the middle part of the marathon and the last sprint very fast are the ones who actually win the marathon. People sometimes fall down, they get up and they run. And that's actually a failure in a marathon. You fall down. But the beauty of a marathon is that it's long. You've got 3 hours to run, not like a sprint. And that's life. You fall down, you can pick yourself up and run and still be very successful. I hope our students learn this because they're getting very impatient nowadays. I think we people are still very, very mature and very patient compared to our students. So Vivek, some questions are coming over here, but I think before that, I want you to speak about meditation and ma'am to also talk about meditation, which is so important to find out.
Yeah, I already mentioned it, but I can add that I follow the Kriya Yoga path, and Kriya Yoga is something which is an Indian spiritual path. So you can read it, find out. I follow Paramahansa Yogananda and his teachings, and I've read the lessons of meditation, and I practice twice a day. There are some exercises followed by preliminary techniques, followed by Kriya Yoga, and then stillness. So it's a wonderful path. Practice some path. It is not easy to just sit and meditate and think of nothing. So have a technique or a set of techniques.
So Shubhra ma'am, you have any thoughts about meditation? Have you been doing it regularly? Is that something part of your routine? I think we lost her.
She's there.
Sir, though I do not do it on regular basis, but for me, meditation is my work. I feel like doing my work on time and in a perfection way is the best meditation. Work is worship for me. And I never ever have compromised in my life with my work, whatever may be the reason, even if it is my personal life, family life, but I have given my work the most priority. So I feel that's also a path of yoga, karmi yoga. I do believe into it.
So beautifully put, ma'am. Thank you very much. And Onkar Singh is asking, is happiness equal to success?
Yeah, that's exactly what Atul also said, and I also said. In our view, happiness is equal to success. And ultimately, the happiness index is being recognized all over the world now. Some countries more than others. But ultimately, whatever economic benefits are there to the society, they have to translate to success. Definitely, to happiness.
The United Nations, Vivek, also measures the happiness index. The countries which have a high happiness index, like Norway, Scandinavian countries, even economically are doing way better than countries which have a low happiness index. So absolutely, Onkar, there's a very strong correlation between happiness and success. Try to be happy. I'm sure you are, but if you fall and are sad, then look outside the window. It's so beautiful, right? So just tell yourself it's a beautiful day and be happy. Vinay is asking that, we've forgotten the Indian way, and we're moving towards the conventional Western way of success. I think we've spoken about it, but he's talking a bit about spiritual growth, and how do we sort of inculcate that in a school. Vivek, any thoughts on this?
Yeah, so that's a very good point. The point is that Indian culture teaches us so many things, and spirituality also. We don't have it as a part of our education system normally. Children are taught various things. So American success is also important. That Western thinking is also important. We need to be well off. We need to be comfortable. However, we need to balance the two. So our inner journey is more important, and the spiritual journey is more important. So we need to focus on that for children also. And something which ma'am may have heard of, teachers may have heard of, it's also the social emotional growth,
Yeah, growth.
which is very important. So the child's all round emotional intelligence, and then the
It's very
spirituality part will come next after emotional intelligence.
sure.
So Dalai Lama said once, ma'am, and you're very close to the Dalai Lama,
Yeah.
Bhangra and Thankot. He said that if we start teaching meditation in schools, children from the age of 10, there will not be any terrorists in the world anymore, and there'll be no wars, which is so true. So absolutely, you're so right, Vinay. We need to bring in spirituality into our life, and we need to just move to a different way of thinking, and we'll be so much happier. Pooja ma'am is writing some lovely comments. You might want to comment on that, Vivek.
Yeah. So she says F stands for failure and S stands for success, and F comes before S in the alphabet. Absolutely right. So, these formulas and these examples are good to inspire us. And we need to keep something like this in mind whenever we are going about our work, and always have some story, some, little anecdote which will be with you, and tell yourself that or something from the Mahabharata or Ramayana or old time tales. They're all very interesting and important for us to learn from. So it's important.
So Vinay is asking, how does one get to know oneself? Know thyself how?
So
I
that
can
is
give
the
you an
that
answer
is a question of life.
exploring myself, but Vivek, you're more evolved than me, and I'm sure so is Shubhra ma'am. So I'll pass over the question to both of you.
It's a very tough question, and that is the self-actualization or self-realization, which the purpose of life is, which most of us learn after the some years of life. We don't know that when we are 20 years old. We take some knocks and we realize the purpose of life is to find yourself. And then that also many people go and they don't never come to know.
Yeah.
So if you know this, if you're asking this question, you're on the right track. I don't have the answers for you, but start reading the autobiography of a yogi or other books. You'll find some answers.
Shubhra ma'am, what's your thought?
Yeah, sure. Vinay sir, as far as I know him, is a very spiritual person. He has a basic principle of his life, and he keeps on reading all types of books. That is both, and he is a person from psychology, so he is more into these things. And what I believe is actually the perception of life is individualistic. What I feel about the purpose of my life cannot be equal with others. So this question is very much relevant to an individual himself or herself. And one has to find out the purpose of his or her life by himself or herself.
So true, ma'am. I think you're so right. It's so individualistic. Vivek, I was having a very interesting discussion yesterday with a colleague, and we were talking about stress. And we came to the conclusion that, it's so relative, because there's some people who have everything in life from the conventional sense, but they're so stressed out. And there are people who have nothing, pretty much nothing, and they seem to be so happy. It's all about, how we perceive our internal self and how we get to learn about ourselves and become happy. So we just saw some suicides happening, and you used to talk about, Sushant Singh Rajput, who used to probably, him a bit, and how you guided him in his early years. And I mean, it's so amazing, from the conventional sense, this man had everything with him, and he goes out and does the extreme. It's
Here,
so
here in
Very
school
surprising.
setup, Here in school setup, I just wanted to add on few things that actually at present we are not teaching our children the path of spirituality, which is the basic and dire need of the day. We are making our children more materialistic. Parent demand for more marks, child demand for more benefits and facilities. It's a kind of give and take. I tell my son, you get 90 more than 90%, I will give you a phone. So it's becoming a kind of bargaining we are keeping on doing in terms of quantity, in terms of money, in terms of material. So we are keeping our children and our education system away from our values. Somehow we have to work on that value system with our children. We have to teach them right from very beginning of the years of schooling that you have to value yourself, you have to value your hard work, you have to value everything what you are getting in life, which is missing. And in my school, I have already started working on it, and I could see the results are better with the junior children because flexibility is more with the students till 8th standard. They are ready to accept the way we want to mold them, the way we want to teach them. But it will take time. But ultimately, we have to change our value. We have to change our education and we have to merge value into academics.
Absolutely, ma'am. I think, unfortunately, we're coming to an end. We've got a couple of minutes left, but lots of lovely comments here. I think Pooja Mahajan ma'am and Pooja Thakur ma'am, they've been participating in a very sizable way. Anupam Baba has got some lovely comments. Namita ma'am, Kamal Sekar. So thank you all of you for these wonderful, wonderful thoughts. You've spoken about Robin Sharma. You've spoken about the Dalai Lama. You've clearly got a beautiful faculty, ma'am. I mean,
Yeah.
like I said, you've done so many of these. What an enlightened faculty and teachers you have. So congratulations for that. No wonder you've got such a beautiful school. I think before we close, Vivek, like I always do, I'm going to ask one last question from both Shubhra ma'am and you. So your last thoughts, but you're only allowed one sentence for your last thoughts.
Okay, thank you, Atul. I'm allowed one extra sentence because I have to tell the name of my books, I believe. So somebody was asking, Move On Bunny and Dubeji Bounces Back were my first two books. They are novels, they are funny, humorous novels. This one is a self-help book, as I showed you, Finding Success Within. The first two are Move On Bunny and Dubeji Bounces Back. Easy to find Amazon, Vivek, Atray, or Google. The connections are also given in the chat box, Atul's and mine. You can connect with us on social media. We can stay connected. One last sentence is that please search for the true meaning of life now, since you mentioned it, and try and find peace within, and success within, and happiness within. Once you turn the spotlight within, you will find.
Shubhra ma'am, your last thoughts.
So for me, the thing is that we need to teach everyone in our life, including self, the goodness religion, and we have to strongly believe in creating humanity in true sense.
Beautiful. I'd like to add by saying Mahatma Gandhi put it so beautifully. He said, if you want to find God, just be truthful. Being truthful is God. I would say, if you're honest to yourself and people around you, and you're truthful, you've already found success and you'll be happy. So with these last words, I'm very thankful to all of you. I think it's been a wonderful, wonderful session. Thank you, Shubhra ma'am, for this opportunity. Would love to get you.
Thank you. So thank you so much. We have learned so many things from both of you, Atul sir and Vivek sir. I'm really grateful to you all that you have really enlightened us and motivated us very much, and you have boosted our energy.
Thank you so much, ma'am. And Vivek, as always, you're so inspirational, so charming, and I so love these sessions.
Thank you so much.
I would just like to mention 3, 4 names: Saranji, Deepika, Meena, Monica, Zita ma'am, all of you. Thank you so much for your lovely words. Have a lovely day. In Lion King, there was a sentence which said, Hakuna Matata, don't worry, be happy. Those stressful times, but don't worry, be happy. You're all Corona warriors. You're the ones who bring in
Yeah.
best you students. So feel very, very proud of the work that you're doing. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Lovely meeting to you and talking to
Thank
you
you all.
people. Really obliged to you. Thank you. Thank you, sir.